Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back. I just realized that Jenna Fisher from The Office was married to James Gunn. That poor woman. So, yeah, before we get going, I'm done with The Rock. Like, he's done nothing wrong, right? As a human being, I think he's fine. My God. I cannot take another one of his failed ass projects and his mopey bullshit.
I'm, I'm hanging there with him I guess a Cowboys fan at this point. Uh, like he rolled the dice, and didn't come out with the result he wanted, and probably a lot hinged on that film. And yeah, man, gave it a hell of a swing though.
Well, it's like somebody said, oh, what the hell was it? It was like Arnold is known for The Predator, and Sylvester Stallone is known for Rambo, and The Rock is just known for being The Rock. And I was like, no, that's not. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I've always said when people say that, like I don't debate it because one is it's really not something you can really go too deep into debate on. Like he's done deeper in other films. Like I think he did good and faster in terms of work. And I think that conversation got revitalized on Twitter recently because Batista gets a lot of praise for some of the roles he's been gave. I think he was just in the new Knives Out movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gotten a chance to really stretch himself. And now that he's finally about to get from under Drax, which he's like I dig the role, and I'm pretty sure it's been good for him financially, but that like he's like a one note thing. It was supposed to probably be serious, and then they just turn it into a gag with the character. But he's getting the stretch. Whereas The Rock, I'm like I feel like he could go deeper, but he's picking these roles where it's like it plays to his greatest strength and his weakness, which is the rockness of it all, to the point where a lot of people just they can't take him seriously because they don't see him as anything else, and it's hard to like try to defend it because it's like, well, that's kind of his best, but it also plays against him so hard. It's weird.
You're not wrong. So speaking of things that we're done with, we're finally done with 2022. 9 days later than everyone else. Took us a while. We were having so much fun in the muck. So we finally finished our wrestling year end awards, and we're gonna hit them up now. We had the most esteemed minds we could find, so I apologize. We gave it a tiered ranking system between the four of us, with the hope being that we would have some definitive winners, and I think we only have one tie, so I'm happy about that. Not happy with who you fuckers picked. I should have just picked it because then we could have had some class among these selections. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad that you all thought Roman Reigns was so much fun to watch. I'm not mad about that at all. Nope, not me.
you just you just see a big bulky Simone in the corner flipping his Fabio like hair. And Chad's just in the corner petting Danhausen, going, "It's okay, we'll get him next year. It's okay. Get you, but I do. They don't get you."
I mean, if you saw how these results turned out, that's pretty much the metaphorical equivalence of how this went down.
It's like it's freaking like Chad's Apollo and Danhausen's Rocky after he lost to Mr. T. Like everybody's gonna owe you an engraved apology when this.
I will say this: Danhausen nearly won most popular.
That actually, because of where he's at and who he is and what he does, that makes the most sense.
Still, the best thing he ever did was like when the interviewer goes, "Danhausen, are you a demon?" And they went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally, he goes, "No."
That
Ah,
I mean, I gotta, cause I don't I've only seen like a clip of I think when he was being interviewed by Renee. Does he go full Cody Stardust when he does interviews?
yeah, he's completely
Okay,
in gimmick.
got you. Because I don't think we've seen anybody do that since the Stardust thing. I mean, I feel like Rosemary does some stuff as Rosemary, then some stuff is her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So but yeah, full Danhausen is freaking hilarious.
Love full Danhausen. Always go full Danhausen. So, wrestler of the year goes to Roman Reigns. I was the only one of us not to vote for him with the top selection. My selection was Josh Alexander, who recently broke the Impact record for longest days held with the world title. And now they can either go in one of two directions. They can either just give him an entire full year as champ,
Yeah.
or they're going to have him lose to Bully Ray. There is no in between.
Yeah, please let it be the former, because to be fair, to be frank, Bully is a much like when they brought EY back, except for them bringing him back and then taking it off of Edwards, which we and Chad were loudly in the back booing. Um, he's a good menace, and so is Bully.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that he's come back, and he's freaking almost caused both Dreamer and Scott D'Amore to have an aneurysm. While torturing Alexander is that's a credit to his work, but he's still trash. So yeah,
He can't work anymore. I
no,
mean, that's what it boils down to. He just cannot work anymore.
yeah,
So it's good to get the name on Alexander's record, but I really think that the only two, or actually, there's three names. There's always Eddie, so he's adjunct number 4 if you must.
uh-huh.
But Gresham.
Gresham, yeah,
But I feel like if you're going to take the belt off of a worker to put it onto a worker, that's kind of a dull move. I think you need to take it off of a worker to put it onto a showman, so to speak.
mm.
So like you would need a big personality, and I know this one's going to ruffle some feathers with Marcus, Nick Aldis, because
I mean,
he's not the worker, but he can cut promos and carry a brand with his personality as long as Billy Corgan isn't surrounding him with, you know, trash.
yeah, the reason why it works is because the last time he was there,
Mm-hmm.
and technically the last time he was there, it was teaming with Mickey, but I'm talking about the narrative of him as a former world champion.
Mm-hmm.
It works, and then obviously his NWA running that whole thing. That actually, the presentation, like you said, somebody with a thing around him instead, because we know Gresham is I put him against anybody, but you kind of need they're gonna either do something like that or they gotta knock him off in a multi-man match, because at this point he's had too many. Most of their top matches last year were all him.
But they were
If
all
it wasn't
so
him, it was
good.
Mike. Yeah, yeah. I mean they don't call him the Iron Man Impact for nothing, but yeah, they're gonna either have to knock him off or something's gonna have to happen where he gets royally screwed, like you said, against somebody like Bully, which the Full Metal Mayhem goes to your credit of he needs it because he can't go. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna get a Mike Bailey match like he did with him from Bully. That's not happening. Like it'll go 30 minutes, but it won't be anything worth 30 minutes.
And the third person I think who could take off the belt from Alexander is actually the name you just mentioned, which is Mike Bailey, because I think they're going to go a little hard into the milk toast karate boy gimmick, which I think would actually be kind of like a nice homage to Kurt Angle, where he's just a really nice guy and he's super charming. But if you go to the extreme like they did with Kurt Angle, and they almost make it a caricature while he can kick your ass, I feel like that would make Speedball a true headliner. And there's a reason why Speedball took Alexander's spot on the most consistent performer list for Impact. He's better than Alexander, and that's saying something because Alexander really doesn't have an equal. You know, Gresham, Alexander, Edwards. That's a trio right there. But Speedball just hits differently, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I just when you look at that litany of matches that they had, and them with really, I'm not gonna say anybody because it's hard to go. But when you look at their match specifically, like it was just on a different tier. And the fact that they went as long as they did with a match that great, it's kind of hard to argue. But yeah, those three. But if Bailey can't get like Kenny King off his ass, he ain't gonna be going nowhere no time. Like
Right.
King slapped fire out of his mouth after that match he had with what you call it, which is classic heel King. But yeah, that was odd. I also like the fact that we damn near about to get potentially Crazy Steve knocking off Trey to become X Division champion, which I would love.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I feel like he's overdue for something. But that's like they got this a-hole tagging the belt now. I'm like, really, Trey? Like this is you getting back at us because we said, oh, it was a Spider-Man gimmick.
And the tagging is so bad because it just bleeds and runs into it, so it just looks like he's coloring it.
I mean, Chad was like, no, like no seriously, we didn't know. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing
No, we're laughing
like.
at you. So one, Trey is not. He's not that guy. He works in a trio because like they're all not that guy, but together you're at least okay. You all have a third of a personality, so as a group you work. As single stars, you make me want to put my head in a fucking oven. If I have to listen to one more fucking promo from one of those three men, I'm going to drive spikes into my ears. Like it's inevitable at this point. That being said, I feel like with Kenny King, he's like a Wish.com version of Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Like every time Kenny King starts to get momentum, I just hear, "Mom, can we have Shelton Benjamin?" No, we have Shelton Benjamin at home. No, we don't. That's Kenny King, bitch. So like, I don't know.
Oh, that's hilarious because that's the thing where I think Eddie Murphy told his joke. He was like, "Mom, can we get McDonald's?" I was like, "All that ground beef we got at home. I fix your burger better than McDonald's." It's like you go home and your mom make the ground beef up and then it started off as one thing and then it just turns into this big ass piece of grease between two.
I think a big ass piece of grease between two buns is more entertaining than Kenny King. So.
Oh man, I'm rooting for you, kid, but my boy's relentless.
Now, are you referring to Bailey as your boy or me? Because
You.
yes. Because yes. Speaking of Bailey, he wins the most consistent performer, edging out Moxley and Seth Rollins. By the by, Roman's edged out Alexander and CM Punk. Tag Team of the Year goes to FTR. Y'all really liked them a lot. I went with the Machine Guns, and they actually finished second. Usos were third. Indie Developmental of the Year. This is our award for the guys who do the most with the least. Your independent workers who have no borders, and your developmental workers who are trying to break theirs. Speaking of breakers, Bronson Rechsteiner, former member of the Baltimore Ravens practice squad. He took the cake with a near sweep. I think only Andrew didn't vote for him. Hook came in second, and Matt Cardona came in third. So there you go. And I guess Hook doesn't technically count as a developmental guy, but he's only been in the business for a year, so we're counting it. Some of y'all really like to fuck with me because apparently Jay White won the Foreign Company Wrestler of the Year award. Bastards. and the fucked up thing. We did this as a tier, right? So like, first place gets 6 points, second place 5, yada yada. I gave him 5 points. Like I'm mad at myself. El Hijo del Vikingo came in second with 18. Satoshi Kojima third. Kento Miyahara fourth. And then we had Takanori Ito and Hikarako. That person. They came in last, if you were curious. And I mean hard last. Least amount of votes. I think, is this someone from Glee or is this someone from fucking Stardom? Let's see. How did I already? It's CMLL. That's why. That's why no one voted for him. Mike Worker of the Year goes to John Moxley. Tied for second. This is where I got confused with the number amounts of ties. Technically, it's tied for third. Is Sami Zayn and Jay White. Jesus Christ, what are we doing here? Y'all need to seek out Jesus because Danhausen came in fourth. What the hell's wrong with you people? And then Heath and Holiday round out the mic workers. Our only actual tie for first place came with the best gimmick. That would be House of Black and Roman Reigns. And to be clear, these two votes could have been, like, one of these could have definitively won had I not hated both so much. I gave Reigns a 2. I gave House of Black a 1. They both came out to 18. Damn it. Danhausen came in third with 16. Then we had Orange Cassidy, Alexander Hammerstone, and Masha Slamovich to round out that. Most improved goes to Chris Bay. Runner-up goes to the Acclaimed. Then we had a two-way tie for third, so technically fourth with Street Profits and Shota Umino. Fifth was Holiday, and sixth was Fred Rosser, the former Darren Young. Make Darren Young great again. Miss you, Bob Backlund. We need more of you on TV. The arrival of the year goes to Solo Sikoa. He got the top slot, but only edging out Speedball by a single point. Then we had Saraya, Paige here. Then we had Danhausen, you heathens. And then Satoshi Kojima for debuting in Noah, and Taya Valkyrie for debuting in MLW. Comeback of the year. Oh, skipped one. Sorry. Comeback of the year. There it is. Goes to Aleister Black. Not really sure why we had him have a comeback when he was only gone for like 3 weeks.
Okay, that wasn't me.
We didn't really have a good one for AEW. At least not one that was substantial enough. Like we could have gone with Paige, but she had just come back. She'll be up for next year.
Yeah, we were gonna put Jericho's abs, but then
We are not giving Super Spreader any love on this show. I'm sorry. Not gonna happen. Aleister Black came in first. Chris Harris came in second. I thought Harris's one match this year was good enough, considering he basically had so many health issues. Basically shouldn't have been wrestling. But he did. He was able to overcome it and come back. So, like, yay. Bailey came in third. I always fuck up Shibata's first name. Katsusori.
Okay. Yeah, Katsusori, yeah.
No, Katsusori is a food, Marcus. Katsusori Shibata. Which is hilarious because his last name reminds me of Shibata. So I'm like, God, I need some bread.
Also reminds me of what you call his name from Osmosis Jones, Mr. Tory.
Oh
Mr.
God, that movie. Davey and Leo round out the awards. Lower card standout. I mean the award nomination. Lower card standout. This is our mid card, slightly above jobber award. Ricky Starks basically swept it. He got 3 top votes and 1 second place vote. So yeah, we all think pretty highly of Ricky Starks. Carl Fredericks came in second of New Japan. Then the Creed brothers, Black Taurus, and then last place tie between Dolph Ziggler and Myron Reed. Female Wrestler of the Year goes to Jordan Grace. Runner-up was Bianca Belair, Thunder Rosa, Suri, Taya Valkyrie, and Athena. Bust of the Year. This one was fun. Hit Row came in first. Karrion Kross came in second. Nope. The third. Wait, second. Hang on. So Hit Row, Karrion Kross, Lacey Evans. There you go. Tied for fifth with Bray Wyatt and the Good Brothers, and last, for some reason, with Chelsea Green. Apparently, some of y'all didn't think she had bust material. I'm gonna let that one linger. Female Feud of the Year, overwhelming. Masha Slamovich versus Jordan Grace. Hell yeah. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch came in second. Third was Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. Fourth was Suri and Julia. We're not big Stardom fans, so you'll have to forgive us. Mickie James versus her own pending demise came in last, while Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair was second to last. And by demise, I mean the end of her career. Male Feud of the Year, top spot goes to CM Punk and MJF. The only, at least as far as I've noticed so far, the only one to warrant all top number 1 votes. So we all agree on that one. The only one we agree on. Sheamus and Walter came in second, although I didn't think that was a great feud. Hell of a match, though. Eddie versus Alexander was third. Jungle Jack versus Christian was fourth. Then we had Jay White and Kazuchika Okada and Holiday versus Hammerstone to round out those nominees. The winner for News Story of the Year goes to Vince McMahon resigning, which is hilarious because we voted on this before he returned.
First you vote, and then I'm back, bitch.
Yep.
Oh my
I think he knew he was winning this, and that's why he came back just to spite us. CM Punk and the Brawl Out situation came in second, followed by a tie for fourth, with Great Mood as retirement and AEW being purchasing Ring of Honor. And then we had Joe Doring and Richard Holiday's battle with illnesses to round out those. Match of the year goes to Josh Alexander versus Eddie Edwards.
yes.
So we're not complete heathens. We know quality when we see it. Sheamus versus Gunther came in second. Then Shingo Takagi versus Will Ospreay came in third. Jordan Grace versus Masha Slamovich at Bound for Glory came in fourth. Hammerstone versus Holiday 2 came in fifth. And then Bucks versus Lucha Bros 1, or whatever one it was, came in at last because fuck them. Lastly, most popular, Sami Zayn wins it, edging out Danhausen by 1 vote, making me a sad, sad boy. Machine Guns, Hammerstone, Tanahashi, and Braun Breaker round out your top 6 in the awards. So we'll finally update the website so that the 2021 and 2022 awards are reflective. And yeah, so there is that. All right, Marcus, that takes us to Electric Boogaloo, Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes, sir.
So Wrestle Kingdom was this past Sunday. No, it wasn't. That was a slip of the tongue because I'm so used to pay-per-views being on Sundays. This shit was on Wednesday, last Wednesday. I stayed up all night for it.
Yeah, Sunday.
It was real good. Apparently, there's a night 2 on January 21st.
Which I appreciate. Please space it out. Please.
But like, none of them are matches that I would stay up to watch.
I didn't even see that card, but what? Let me check that.
All right, so here's night 2. I think this is the main event just because of who's in it. Tanahashi, Takashi Sugura, Toru Yano, Satoshi Kojima taking on the Bullet Club's Phantasmo, Kenta Gato, and Naomichi Marufuji of Noah. We have El Desperado versus Yohei, Master Wato. Master Wato's his name is dumb. Just so dumb.
He had a hell of a showing though.
Love the look. Love this talent. Just so good. And like the master part works, but like I don't know what Wato is in Japanese. Like it could be like Master Billy, Master Heath, Master Jordan. Like it's not intimidating, but like Master Undertaker, Master Sting, you have my attention. Master Hausen.
Classic comic book Master Dick.
Master Dick. I like Master Hausen better. Master Wato. This is 6-man. Master Wato, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Tiger Mask are taking on Alejandro Huantamiyawaki and Amakasua. You cannot tell me these are people from New Japan because I will not believe you.
I swear to God, historically, nothing short ever follows Alejandro. It ain't never Alejandro Jones.
Alejandro Io. It's Alejandro Armando. No, it's Armando Alejandro Estrada.
Oh man.
Then we have a tag team match. It's Kazuchika Okada, there we go, and Togi Makabe taking on Kaito Kiyomiya. These are not names. He's a Noah dude. That's why Kaito Kiyomiya. I think I'm saying that right. And Yoshiki Inamaro. So basically this is a night of interpromotional matches, which I actually dig. Because there's Noah, there's Amaksua. I'm probably not saying that. Amaksua is from Michinoku Pro. So You got some guys from all over the
Yeah,
land here.
yeah.
Yohei's with Noah. Tadasuke Tatsuki is with Noah. He's taking on Boshi. Hiromu Takahashi is taking on, oh, jeez, Hajime Ohara.
Nice.
Do you know who
Uh,
he is, or are you just
no,
proud of my pronunciation?
yeah, that part.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This feels like new, instead of like a Wrestle Kingdom Part Two, it feels like New Year's Dash Part Two.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Then we have Sonata versus Manabu Soya. So there's that. Where is he from? He is. Says was in All Japan. He's now with Noah. So I think this is mostly just Noah guys. Shingo Takagi versus Katsushiko Nakajima. And then this may be the main event. Tetsuya Naito versus Keno. Keno's the top dog, and no, I don't know if he's currently the champion, though. Let's see. Is Keno the current champion? He is not the current champion. Who is the current champion? Current champion is Kaito Kiyomiya. Words! And he's held the belt for a combined 490 days. I'm a little surprised that Kenta Kobashi's not the top dog. It's Takashi Sugura is the top champion in Noah history. That's interesting. So that's night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom. But what about night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom? Let's hit this up. So the pre-show was great, especially because we got Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima, and Togi Makabe as a tag team taking on Tatsumi Fujinami, Minoru Suzuki, and Tiger Mask. I'm pretty sure that is 5, 10, 15, combined age of about 300 years, Marcus, in that match, and I'm not being facetious. It was the an Antonio Inoki Memorial 6-man tag. Great Okan, Shingo Takagi, Sho, and Toru Yano won the New Japan Ranbo. Okay. And they would go on to challenge one another for the provisional KOPW 2023 Championship at New Year's Dash. If I remember correctly, Shingo Takagi won that, didn't he?
Yeah, the King of Pro Wrestling thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. The first match was Catch 22 versus Leo for the junior heavyweight tag team title. That's TJP and Francesco Akira versus Leo Rush and Yo. We were pulling for Leo because we like Leo Rush and despise TJP.
Yeah.
Our allegiances are very, very honest. For the IWGP Women's Championship, this is like the first time since the 90s that women have wrestled on a Wrestle Kingdom card. Stardom's Kairi, a.k.a. Kairi Sane, took on Tam Nakano in a very quick but fun match. It was 6 minutes of chaos, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't need 25-minute matches every single match. Like, tell me a different story. It's okay. Like, you're allowed to. Bushiman, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi defeated FTR to win the heavyweight tag team titles of the IWGP. For the inaugural television championship, Ren Narita lost to Zachary Sabre Jr. by submission. And then Sabre Jr. apparently joined up with the mighty Don't Kneel, which is the former tag team, NXT tag team of Shane Haste and I can't remember the other dude's name at the top of my head. Who are ironic enough?
Something Thorn, right?
Yeah, it's Haste and Thorne. Which is ironic because those two dudes got their break in Noah. Then New Japan picked them up after WWE dropped them, and WWE didn't know what to do with them. So, there's that. Tama Tonga defeated Carl Anderson to win the Never Openweight Championship, and I hope Tama Tonga doesn't go to WWE to get his career killed. That'd be bad. In a 6-man tag, Keiji Muto, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Hiroshi Tanahashi's biological clone, Shota Umino, took on Los Ingobernables de Japón, Tetsuya Naito, Sonata, and Bushi. Muto is, I think, a month away from retiring, and they were teasing a possible showdown between Naito and Muto. So, like, I don't know if that's going to happen. That'll be interesting. For the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, I didn't even know Taiji Ishimori held the belt. So, like, that was a shock to me. He lost to Hiromu Takahashi. El Desperado and Master Wato were also in the match. Then for the IWGP United States Championship match, a banger that broke my heart with the ending. Kenny Omega defeated champion Will Ospreay to win the belt. That was dumb. But at least the main event gave me something good to watch over. Kazuchika Okada defeated Jay White to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And the fucked up thing is, excuse my language, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches, right? Took about an hour and a half to get through. The last 2 matches took about an hour and a half to get through. Like between the pomp, the circumstance, the entrances, both matches went 30 plus minutes. So that's an hour right there. Then you had the time in between, the ring entrances, you know, the removal of set attires, because everyone was peacocking hard on this show. So like that's easily 90 total minutes right there, just between those 2 matches. So yeah, Marcus, thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom Night 1?
I dug it, man. I thought it was a great show. Like I said, I had been on an excursion from Wrestle Kingdom and had been over in Gleetland.
Gleetland.
So this was nice jumping back in point. Some fresh things happening, new titles, new beefs, some new situations. Obviously, the company is continuing its expansion into the U.S. as it should, and even beyond that. So this was just a really solid show, man. Like it was, didn't feel daunting. It felt like it had some high points. It was really good. It was really good all around. Oh, and we forgot to mention about the money.
No, we did not. She's next on the list.
Nice.
She's getting her own slot.
Mm.
So I will say this. I will say this about Wrestle Kingdom. It was good. I liked it. A lot of fun. But the one thing that came out after this was Hiroshi Tanahashi, who I guess is going to be taking more of a management position because he's 46, man. Like somehow, some way, he got old. That's not right. That's not right. It came out via Tanahashi that New Japan Strong is going to be, I guess, reshuffled, so to speak, and the current incarnation coming to an end. And I guess the idea is they're going to run less shows but bigger shows. So we'll see how that ends up working out. I haven't been watching New Japan Strong because their talent, like, it's good, but you need name brands, man. Like, you need guys worth checking out. And like, they had Tom Lawler and Fred Rosters. He's been all right. But if it hasn't been for the Impact guys, there's really no reason to watch New Japan Strong. So hopefully they get things right with that. I'm curious to see how they go, in what direction. I think some of the guys, I think Carl Fredericks is being scouted by WWE. I don't know what's going on with Alex Coughlin. I don't know what's going on with Clark Connors. So could be a very interesting year for New Japan stateside. But speaking of interesting, we do got to talk about Mone. I like Sasha Banks. I think she is beautiful. And I would like her to date me. I know she's married. I'm just saying. I think she's an incredible athlete. I think she's an incredible wrestler. I think she has an incredible personality. I think it's bombastic, and that's what you need in wrestling. I think her debut flopped a little bit. Some of it had to do with her name. What is it? What is it? Mercedes Monet. Is that what it is? I'm not being facetious. I'm generally trying to remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually Mercedes. Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, because that's her the real first name, and then yeah.
I mean, it's better than Sasha Banks. I'll say that, because like it sounds like a stage name, and like you should always seek a stage name, because Billy Billison, like what? Jay White, what? Anthony Bowens, what? Like some of these names just sound like you're my butcher at my local grocery store. Hey, Steve Austin, how are you? Give me a half slab of ribs, please. Like you're not telling Goldberg to make you fucking deli meat. You know, you're not telling fucking Sting, hey, where's the produce? Right? Rick Flair, no K. You're not asking him if he can check you out with this coupon. So like Mercedes Monet, okay. Okay. I don't know what she was wearing, and I hope to God that was a wig, because like I get it, she was trying to go for the Bam Bam Bigelow of it all, but it looked bad. And like as you mentioned, like some people were thinking she was slurring her words a bit. I don't know if that's the case. I think she was just amped up. But yeah, it looks like she's gonna be pulling triple duty because there's some belief that she'll be popping up in AEW as well as with New Japan and Stardom. So should be interesting
Yeah.
to see what she does.
Hell of a debut, not a flawless debut. Between look is very interesting. Obviously, she's very much, know, keeping similarities to the Banks persona, but also deviating. Um, Obviously, I think she got to maybe rework that finisher, but she always does presentation in some form of fashion well, if for nothing else than having a presence. So obviously, she's superbly talented, and I would imagine after getting herself off the proverbial leash, she will want to kind of keep things a little bit light footed, so she may dip her feet off into some multiple pools. I just hope she don't stretch herself thin, because the fact that FTR had the match that they did with Yoshihashi and my boy Goto, and I think what it was it Cash
Which one
that
has the
got
hair?
that's Cash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had just arrived
like
like
30 minutes
before his
or something.
match
Yeah, for his
because
match.
there was so many delays in his
Delays,
flight.
yeah, delays, and then just that even a flawless travel thing to New Japan is daunting. So the fact that he went through those differing levels of hell just to come out there and perform like it hadn't happened is just on a different level. So I hope she don't stretch herself too thin. But like I said, I imagine now that she's been let off that leash, she's gonna want to maximize as much as she can, both financially and in terms of impact on TV and whatnot, to make sure she make a sticking point. So yeah, like you said, not a flawless debut, but an impactful one nonetheless. So money.
Ugh. Ugh. Speaking of ugh, I gotta talk about Vince McMahon. Old Senor Deadeyes over here, puffy face. The dude looks like he has like two clams for eyes these days. They're just swollen shut. What the fuck is wrong with him? He's coming back to the board of directors, and we have no idea what kind of chaos this is going to bring. He may take back his positioning as the head of creative. He may not. We'll see. But yeah, no one should be happy about this. This is going to be bad, and they're apparently trying to sell. The Saudis have expressed interest. The owners of the UFC, I think their name is Endeavor. They're interested. I've heard that several networks are interested, like Fox and NBC. So we'll see what happens with this. I think if you're Stephanie, Triple H, and Shane, I think I'd be fit to be tied. Because like in 2001, he did an interview with I forget who the dude's name is. I think it was like a Canadian host who pissed off CM Punk once. Forget his name. But basically, the interview was, when you retire, what's going to happen? He's like, I'm going to hand it down to my kids. Well, that's not true. And apparently, he was willing to block any negotiations that he could if he was not permitted back to the board so that when the TV rights fees came due and they needed to renegotiate, he would block any deal that would be made, basically killing the company. So the man is psychotic. He very much is. This is hilarious though because it kind of reinforces the idea that you can't trust the WWE ever, no matter what. And Triple H has not been doing a good job booking anyway. So now you have this cloud hanging over. Marcus. Any thoughts on the return of El Hijo del Divo?
Boo, boo, and boo.
Boo
Um,
that man!
yeah, I looked. The fact that it even happened at all was seemed like it was like there was a blue and red moon in the sky, and now like it's happening again. So I don't know why we're shocked, you know, because we should have known. Like the man, we always talked about like the dude's probably gonna pass away at work. So the first sign of things potentially blowing over, he was of course gonna want back in, specifically if he's seen things turning for the better, particularly for some guys in the company, or maybe he just that much of a control freak at this point that he kind of sees his existence synonymous with the company. So yeah, if that is all true, that he basically was like, I'll block everything that we got coming unless I get some type of power back. I don't know. It really wouldn't be shocking with everything that we know about the man. So yeah, it's it's like the whole All for One conversation we was having earlier about it's like an anime villain that is like they're always talking about in the background, and we see him but we never see his face. So we've seen his face and we can't get it out of our head. So yeah, I just feel bad for people, man, particularly at a time where a lot of people are coming back. It's not looking good. This was the last thing the company needed, particularly if it was looking to be sold, and the fact that they still have to deal with him, it's tragic. But there's been a lot of tragic things about the company for the last decade or more. So this is almost stand affair.
See, and it's interesting that you mentioned that he would probably die at work because for the longest time, yeah, that seemed like the obvious thing. We did not realize, however, at least when we said it, we thought he would die of natural causes, right? Now, now it might be murder. Stephanie's found with the big old dagger in her daddy's bag. I didn't do it. It was Triple H. No, it was Triple G. Triple H's evil twin brother.
Hilarious.
So, yeah, maybe the third movie in the Knives Out Glass Onion series will be Dead McMahon. And we'll have to have a poorly written murder mystery plot with plot holes to try to explain what happened. I'm not a fan of Rayon Johnson. I'm not going to pretend to be.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Gunnar Gus Gelmsley was.
I knew there was a reason why Jackson Riker was held on for as long as he was. I swear to God, if he shows up on Friday, I'm going to cry. Like, Impact is finally starting to move their roster over to good talent and not your Jessica Havoc's of the world. So let's talk about Hard to Kill. It's this Friday. I'm excited for it. I'm real excited for it. Like, this is a good card. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah,
Actually.
we talked about last year. They had like practically their whole year. I mean, some of the best wrestling matches I saw a year last year were coming out of Impact, and
Mm-hmm.
they had and they did really good with all their big shows. Um, I think they're gonna continue their trend, kicking it off this year with this. This is a really solid. Like on paper, this looks good, and a lot of times we've talked about it. A lot of times they've kind of had to outperform what the card looked like on paper, and they deliver. But this time, I mean, the fact that it looks good, that good on paper, you expect it, kind of exceed that in the where is it being held?
Dallas, no, Atlanta at the Center Stage Theater.
Okay.
NXT and was it Ring of Honor, have ran here before. I thought NWA have, but maybe
Yeah.
not.
I was that's gonna be interesting because I've seen some people online been talking about how like 'cause I think AEW switched up their stage aesthetic and people been calling for like Impact to switch up theirs, which couldn't hurt, but you know.
I want somebody to be brave enough to go to the corner ring entrance route, like WCW used to do. Like, if you watch like New Year's Dash, the entrances come to the corner ring posts.
Mm,
I think that's so cool because like you then have like because the way arenas are set up, there's usually 4 points of entrance to the floor,
mm-hmm.
and when you set up like a Raw stage, what you end up doing is you have people come from the backstage through that point of entrance, but that point of entrance is coming from the corner. So then you have to go behind the stage setup and up the stage and out. But if you just do the corner setup, you can just bring guys right out. Like there's no need to do extra steps, and it looks cooler. Like New Japan did that when Shibata came back after he gave himself a brain hematoma or a brain hemorrhage, whatever it was. They had that corner set up. When WWE went and did the Beast in the East, they had a corner set up. And I think that's the coolest shit in wrestling. Like that's my jam. WCW did that a lot too. So I'd like to see Impact do that. Or if I can't get me a corner setup and a new camera angle, because I like the idea of not having a hard cam all the time, like New Japan does, but they do a lot of like the concept is letting the camera find you, not posing for the camera. And I would love to see that more often in wrestling because I love the way New Japan shoots their matches. But if they can't do any of that, give me a fucking tunnel back. Like, give me the old Impact Arena tunnel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's great. So, Hard to Kill this week. Here's the match card. Do you want to do predictions or no?
Oh, we can.
So, I'm going to start from the bottom and go to the top. We have a 6 knockouts tag match on the pre show. It's Rosemary, Taya Valkyrie, and Fire Me Please Jessica taking on Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, and Tasha Steeles. Then we have a 6-way match. It's going to be Alan Angels or whatever his name is versus Bhupinder Gujar, Kushida, Mike Bailey, 60-something-year-old Mike Jackson, and Yuya Uemura. I don't know how the hell you're getting Kushida, Mike Bailey, and Yuya Uemura on the pre-show on this show, but you did. You did. Mike Jackson was born in 49. How old is that today? I don't do math good. 73. Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah, I was just gonna say because yeah.
Marius, he was ranked in the 277th in the top 500 of PWI in 1992. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure he's the oldest person ever at 72 years old to debut in the, not debut, but to be ranked in the top 500 best wrestlers in the world by PWI. Because he would have been 72 when he got listed. So, like, that's
Nuts.
I mean, he's in great shape too. Like that's the part that really pisses me off. He's in better shape at 72 than I am, and I'm 36. And he does the old school. This is the dude that did the old school on Johnny Swinger. Remember that?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he was 70 years old when he did that. I can't wait to see what he does at 72. This is great. I hope he doesn't die. I'm genuinely concerned. Rich Swan's going to probably open the show with Steve Macklin in a Falls Count Anywhere match. I want more Swan. I have an idea. If none of these tag teams work out, turn Swan heel and have him join up with Moose. They can call themselves the Animal Kingdom. They can just go by Swan and Moose, and they can be tag team champions. Thoughts?
That'll be see now I miss Sam Shaw for his graphics. His drawing graphics.
Yeah. So I'm going with Macklin here because it feels like Swan's kind of in the gatekeeper role at the moment.
Same. And Macklin feels like he's trying to go through old. I mean, we talked about it going through old, well, not old, but former champions to get to the current champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think obviously him and Swan gonna have a hell of a bout. Swan is no easy win on any night, but I feel like the narrative is with Macklin. So yeah.
Then we have Moose versus Joe Hendry. I know you're not a big Joe Hendry guy, but my lord, I am.
I, actually, catching up on Impact recently, and then with the entrances, I believe in Joe, and, and then the guy's funny too, because at this point Moose has just had it up to here. Moose brought his ass out during the match, and then I think he picked up a chair in the middle of the match to go out to Joe, and Joe's like, "Oh, okay, now he's got furniture." Now he's got furniture. Okay, Moose, that's enough. Calm down. Let it go. Like, I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it with this guy. I get it.
He's also I want to say he was a contender to make it onto the Scottish national wrestling team for the Olympics. So he's a worker. He's a worker with personality. That's why I'm on his bandwagon, so to speak, because we need more personality in wrestling. I cannot keep having Alex Garcias. I can't. Oh, you're a villain who's snotty and with a dumb name. Oh, you're so original. I don't even know Alex Garcia. Am I talking about the right guy? Who was feuding with Wheeler Yuta? It's something Garcia, wasn't it? In
Yeah, it's
AEW?
something. Yeah, I can't think of.
Sam Garcia, Greg Garcia. It's dumb. It's like, why would you name yourself that? Like Wheeler Yuta's a hell of a name.
Daniel Garcia.
It's even worse than I came up with. Damn, Daniel. See, damn Daniel. There it is. Like, there's your nickname. Fuck, Garcia, you're so goddamn boring. Oh. So, yeah, we need more personalities in wrestling. We need more big personalities in wrestling. So I love Joe Hendry. And I kind of want Moose to go back to his flamboyant what are those? Tatters? What are those things that flop around on your arm? Ultimate Warrior Adam?
Yeah, yeah. Not the tits. I say tether. I think about the tassels. He's talking about
Tassels,
tassels.
there it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
I want Moose to kind of go and become like a black Ultimate Warrior. Like, give him a personality more beyond I'm tall and mean. Like that would be dope. I would be down for that. But yeah, on this past week's episode, Joe Hendry came up with Moose's new theme song, and it's just Hendry's theme song, but with lyrics from Moose. And you know how the hook of Hendry's song is "I believe in Joe Hendry." Well, the hook for Moose's version of Joe Hendry's theme was "I believe in Moose's dancing."
Hilarious.
So when Moose got pissed, he's like, I'm gonna beat your ass at Hard to Kill, Hendry. Now play my music. Say his name and Moose appears. I believe in Moose's dancing. And like Moose just like put his head down. Oh, I love this feud. They're gonna be fighting it over for Hendry's Impact Digital Media Championship. Hate the name. Love the look of the belt. I actually like the look of the belt.
Yes.
Just don't like the name of the name.
And as you tweeted when it came to titles, no Velcro titles.
No more Velcro titles. I'm sorry. I don't want to watch wrestling and think, my 4-year-old nephew probably has that belt. No, thank you.
Because it reminds you of the foam belts you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get those tacky ass foam belts and like that. That's cool when you're 6 and like you're on a budget. It's hey, I could buy you a $20 belt and dinner, or I can not eat dinner.
$20 bill, get you some Pop Tarts and them Hulk smash hands.
There you go. That's a weekend. Hulk sad I'm out of Pop Tarts. Speaking of sad, I'm not sad over Taylor Wilde's new gimmick. I love Taylor Wilde. I love her so damn much. And I'm really happy to see that she's finally getting something that she can sink her teeth into, because she fucking deserves it. I love it. Sorry for my language. But I had an epiphany. I want to see Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly as a tag team.
I mean, look, man. I gotta catch up on the last 3 eps, but the fact that Taylor Wilde's back, Killer Kelly's back, and Masha Slamovich hopefully stays for a while. I mean, those two as a team, I love Rosemary and Taya, but they wouldn't stand a chance.
Right?
And even if they just feuded with them just to beat up on Jess every week, I'd take it.
Yeah, we can not have Jessica. No, thank you. So Perazzo, Kelly, Slamovich, and Wilde are going to be in a 4 corners match for the Knockouts World Championship #1 contendership. This is like, Killer Kelly. I don't think is going to win, but it really all depends on what's next. If the idea is to get to Jordan, I think Taylor Wilde will be the next person. But if Mickey James somehow wins, I think Killer Kelly goes personally. So we'll see if my pathway theory holds water. But yeah, we have not been making predictions. So I got Macklin over Swan, I got Hendry over Moose, and I got Wild winning. Marcus, what about you?
Yeah, Macklin. I got Moose and what you said is Kelly.
Kelly, Slamovich, Wild, and Perazzo.
Freak it, I'm gonna go with Marsha. If
Okay.
Jordan's not involved, I'm going with Marsha.
X Division Championship match: Black Taurus versus Trey Miguel. I'm going with Black Taurus. I know he's not going to win, but I hope he wins
Man,
because I am done with Trey Miguel.
I hope Steve pops up from the damn apron and coats his face. Yeah, I hope he tags Trey in the face. And then Tarus gets him, and that'll be the perfect thing, because we had that switch earlier with the match with the great finish between I don't know if you watched Muda Nakamura, but
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
yeah, that great finish. So yeah, I hope I'm going with Tarus. Yeah,
So this may have been ruined. We'll see. I spent last night catching up on my wrestling.
yeah.
I watched MLW, and they did an 8-man tag match that Black Taurus was a part of. Now, granted, this was taped a few weeks back, maybe even a few months back. But in the match, they say that Black Taurus is a former X Division champion. He isn't. Making me think this may have been a bit of a
Spoiler.
maybe.
It's either a hiccup or a spoiler.
Yeah, and like they have really good announcers in MLW, and like that's not usually something that happens like a flub. So they may have known that Tarus was going to win the belt, and maybe preemptively said that like, hey, yeah, he's a former champion because they didn't know when this would air. We'll see. We'll see. If Tarus wins on Friday, MLW is a bunch of clairvoyant fucks. That's all I'm going to say. 4-way tag team elimination match. I have a feeling this is going to be a match of the night. It's going to be the Machine Guns versus Heath and Rhino versus the major players Brian Myers and Matt Cardona versus Bullet Club's Ace Austin and Chris Bay. I really want the Machine Guns to retain. I really do, but like Hard to Kill is kind of their reset show. At least that's kind of how I feel. So either the major players or Bullet Club's going to win. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Bullet Club, but not confidently.
Okay, this is the Guns versus Bullet Club versus what, two other teams?
Heath and Rhino and Brian Myers and Matt Cardona, the major players.
Yeah, yeah. Man, I'm going with Bullet Club. You're not putting it back on Heath and Rhino. That was a cute run, but they're not doing that. Um, Although they will be some a-holes and slided towards the former Edgeheads. But I'm going with Bullet Club. I mean, coming off of that, I mean, they were the point to watch the Super Tag League for. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with them.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with those tag belts that the Guns have, the strong tag titles from New Japan.
Yeah,
So, who knows? I don't.
yeah.
Then we have a singles match with Johnny Gresham versus Eddie Edwards. I think Gresham's going over, especially considering how befuddled he was with the Ring of Honor and AEW of it all. I don't think Scott D'Amore's bringing him in to job. And Eddie's kind of made, right? Like, save for, like, just a spectacular run of losing to, like, the Alex Reynolds of Impact, like, on, like, a consecutive weekly basis, I feel like Eddie can eat a loss. And I feel like he's going to eat this loss.
Yeah, and then coming off of, you could run a narrative of him kind of being basically kind of lost since, I mean, his faction just left. It caved in, then it left. And it's nice to see him back on the same page with Alish. Lish is always going to be there even through all the craziness as we've seen. But yeah, I don't because Gresham ain't just making a print like he signed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you get that win at Gresham. I think you continue that feud for the next couple months because I don't think Evans is um gonna take that too well. We know how he gets in these sort of states when he doesn't have his way. So yeah, I think Gresham takes that, but ultimately the fans is winning. So
Yeah, we're the ones who are really winning, for sure. Then we have Mickey James versus Jordan Grace. If Mickey loses before she wins the title, she will retire. Do we think that Mickey's actually going to retire? That's the real question here.
I mean, she's saying it in these interviews, but again, it's wrestling. You know, very
Can't
few
trust nobody.
exactly. Very few people have fundamentally retired um, completely unless they were absolutely forced to. And it was like, I can't. If I come back and I take one bump, it's over. Um, so I don't know about the retirement, but I think I can't see her winning. And then with it being her 200 match, that may be a narrative for them to do it. But then I just feel like this whole thing has been leading to because I think she's been talking about actually hanging it up um, in reality. So um, between that and I would imagine, um, and this is not me wanting to assume more than necessary, certainly not knowing her, but with everything that recently happened with her family, I would imagine she want to, uh, have more time for that. So I can't see it. I think this is the perfect way to buy out, particularly in a company that really allowed her to do her thing in a way for years. Um, and like I said, I think it's a 200 matching against somebody that you can appreciate hanging it up against when somebody like Grace, who was probably at the best point in her career she's ever been in. So,
Currently, the longest reigning champion in Knockouts history is Ty Valkyrie.
mm,
Jordan Grace is currently 7th with her second reign at 204 days. I mean, if you're trying to get more critical acclaim, you have Grace keep winning.
yeah,
You have her unseat Taya Valkyrie, and presumably you would have her unseat Taya Valkyrie for the reign. Because let's see, we are 167 days away. So let's see, let's do some simple math, Marcus. I gotta get the calculator out because that's it simple. That is taking you almost right to Slammiversary. 167 days is about 5 months, give or take. And that'll take you up to June. So either you do Slammiversary or right before Slammiversary, you have Taya Valkyrie versus Jordan Grace for the record, essentially. I think that's the way to go. But, who knows? That said, there is the Nick Aldis of it all. He's a free agent, officially. There seems to be talks that he's already made his decision. And, if you're Nick Aldis, if you're not going to the WWE, which would make sense if you can get an offer, the obvious place that you would go to next is either New Japan, if you can get there, or Impact, because you don't want to get lost in the muck in AEW or Ring of Honor. That's for sure. And I don't think he wants to be away from his wife and son going to Noah every other week or All Japan. And All Japan's in the middle of a mass exodus at the moment as well. So, I don't know.
yeah. So I mean, I just feel like narratively he just got unfair. I mean, we know for certain he's definitely probably never going back to NWA. Certainly not with Billy running things.
No. God,
Um,
no. Hell no.
yeah. So I just feel like narratively it fits. He got unfinished business in terms of that world title with Impact notoriously because he's very much on the record saying that world title run was not at all what he wanted it to be. Like he got the business of it and whatnot, and narrative of what they were doing, but that's not the reign he wanted, which is why his NWA reign meant even more coming off after that. So yeah, That's I would think that's a great decision to move. But again, we don't know. He might pop up in MLW. Who knows? Um,
Yeah,
yeah, you know. So
that's certainly a possibility. That
yeah,
is.
but to your point, I'd run Grace and Alexander to Slammiversary, and then if you want to switch over things, you can do it then. You know.
That makes sense to me. But we're logical, sane human beings, so you know who's to say at this point. I will say this: I do kind of miss Jordan Grace pre Big Mama Pump.
Mm.
There's just something about her debut look, if you will, that was cute. Now she's terrifying in the most complimentary way possible. I think there are so very few women who I would put in the ring with Jordan that I would actually think, yeah, she could be Jordan Grace. Taya might be one of them, although she's getting up there in age. Like Taya's slowing down.
Hmm.
Like, that's something I've noticed during her MLW run. She is slowing down.
Yeah.
Rosemary's slowed down a little bit, but that's mostly due to injury. Like her knee, really got fucked up.
This this is where I remember. Like, man, I hate the fact this would be the perfect time, or this would be a perfect scenario for like a prime Tessa Jordan. But it's like she ran herself almost out of the business in a way.
She ran herself out of her marriage.
Oh, that's gonna be an interesting story if we ever get, I guess, either side of it actually. But yeah, that'll be the one person I'd be like, you know what? Yeah. Or maybe they run her and Slamovich a third time. Who knows? But they are getting some good names, and like you said, Wild, um, and also Killer Kelly. I don't ever see somebody like not Frost. What's her name? That's tagging with Deanna now. Giselle. I don't see somebody like this Giselle ever get to the level because Jordan's just on a different gear now.
And Giselle, for as good as she is, isn't really that good. And that's the thing. Like some people are in the company because of what they can provide. Some people are in the company because of what they can bring. In terms of PR, in terms of mic working, in terms of wrestling.
Yeah.
And Giselle's not there because she's a great talent. She's fine.
Yeah.
I certainly would watch her over Raka Khan and Jenna Morasco and Charmel and maybe Lady Tapa.
She's still a wrestler, huh?
I have no idea.
Once you
I'm
say
just trying to
Rock,
think of some of the worst knockouts in history.
there's something that dude. Wow. The minute you named Rocket Con, Curry's music started playing in my head. Oh, weird.
Oh man, next week we got to talk about the Jeff Jarrett Kurt Angle drama. Oh, it's mwah. It's
Oh,
so dumb.
it's weird because I think they might have some real life beef with your Chad's favorite rapper.
You
Freaking
know, if somebody hit Max Caster in the face with a 2x4, I wouldn't mind. As long as after you hit him in the face with a 2x4, you go ho. Because if you're gonna hit someone with a 2x4 and you don't ho, then you don't know. I don't want to deal with you if you don't know.
yeah, it's the lumber version of Kobe.
It is. It is. It really is. All right, Marks, we got to be definitive. I'm going with Grace to retire Mickey James.
Same man.
Okay.
Race all the way.
Main event: Bully Ray Alexander in a Full Metal Mayhem match for the Impact World Title. Ray's been doing great promo work. He kind of looks like a little bit of a psychopath. I've been enjoying that. I've also been noticing that even though he's in great shape, especially compared to where he was in Ring of Honor when he was bumping over there 2 or 3 years ago, I still don't think he's nearly where he was, 12 years ago, you know, or more like 9 years ago when he was with aces and eights and winning world titles and being the top heel in the game.
Yeah.
He's going to be I think this is like the best environment for him because Alexander can bump like a mother.
Hmm.
But I don't know what you do with Bully if you put the belt on him after this.
Yeah, I don't think you. I think it'll be the stupidest thing in the world to put a belt on him. But I think hopefully, you know, more intellectual minds prevail and be like, this is just the emotional hurdle because that's what's been. I think they're continuing to play off what happened with Moose and the fact that this guy is so good. He's so the whole Iron Man thing is working so well that the only thing you can really test him with at this point is his family, which I think he said when he was, I think, doing an interview with Busted Open. It's like the only thing people can really stick me with is my family. So, unless Bully is gonna last minute pull Alexander's wife from under the ring, already strapped to a table, last minute or something, which would be wild. Um, I don't see how Josh could not go after him. I mean, he tied him up. Um, he had who was the team of guys that he ended up having jumping? I forgot the team, but he's been held down and forced to watch his wife suffer, forced to watch Dreamer suffer. So I think got some comeuppance coming, and I'm putting it on Alexander. They will be the stupidest thing to end that man's reign to bully Ray. Like
Listen, I've said before, I'll say it again. One, I love being a turtle, and two, I would put the world title on Sting today. But my affinity for Mr. Steve Sting Borden is unique. He is just amazing. Simply put, he is the only person that I would consider putting the belt on after 50. Bully Ray is 51. He'll be 52 this year. I would not put the belt on Bully Ray. I would not put the belt on Chris Jericho. I would not put the belt on Atako. I would not put it on somebody that always has to go. I will not put the belt on a 50-something-year-old man, Sam I am. I don't know why you would. If they make that decision to have Bully Ray go over on Friday, I am going to be very concerned with the direction of this company.
absolutely, but
Because there is a possibility, Marcus, because
yeah,
even though I love the guns, even though I do, that the three top titles in this company could be held by people 40 plus. Because the guns are either at 40 or are about to be 40. Let's see, Alex Shelley is 39, turning 40 in May. Sabin is 40, turning 41 in February. Mickey James in her 40s. And now you have Bully Ray in his 50s. Like, I can get behind the guns because they're still in their prime. Like, Eddie's 39. He'll be 40 this year. Still in his prime. As long as he stops eating Hot Pockets. But putting the belt on that many elderly statespeople, in Mickey's case, I like, what would be the purpose? You have to develop the next generation of stars, and I feel like putting the belt on Bully Ray when it could just be Alexander's career making and hopefully company making run would be so foolish and short sighted, especially when you have Gresham in the pipeline. You have Moose in the pipeline for if you want to go back to that. If they bring in Aldis, you have Heath. You got the machine guns. Alex Shelley turning heel would be huge. That'd be a huge storyline. And I don't know if Swan and Alexander have done a dance yet, at least for the title. So you have options. Macklin, less of an option, but you still have options.
hmm
So I would not rush to put the belt on Bully. Not when you have at least 5 or 6 programs between now and Slammiversary, or even now and Bound for Glory, depending on how long you want to run the title reign. I think you'd go at least to Bound for Glory, where you think
yeah,
about putting it on Speedball or someone else. But I don't think you take it off until Bound for Glory, at the latest.
yeah. But I think that's the point. Hopefully, that's the point because that whole promo with that backstage thing with the more like we're gonna make it Full Metal Mayhem, and you're gonna have to. You're not gonna be the Iron Man. You're gonna have to. Be something else. You're gonna have to, go to places and do things you've never done before. So I think this is one more thing to to up Alexander's cachet, if you will. But yeah, we only have hesitation because we've seen this company pull stupider moves. So we always got to leave some room for doubt until proven otherwise.
Yeah, unfortunately. Although Demore and Bully Ray had a little segment on this past episode, so they may be kind of writing in a way to keep Bully strong, but not as champion. So we'll see about. We'll see what happens next. Hey, is Nigel McGuinness still under contract with the WWE? Did I lose you there? Think I lost Marcus? No,
Technical
Marcus.
difficulty, I'm back.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Nigel McGuinness. Is he still with WWE?
I don't know. If he is, that's been real quiet. Most of the guys that's coming these days, I end up seeing being in pull aparts. I'm like, oh, he works there now.
Says he was released in October.
Oh, okay. Like, the only
I
two
would.
people I feel like are there that we don't see is what Borash and Abyss.
Yeah, but they're backstage guys anyway. That's why they were signed. I would like to see Nigel pop up as a color commentator.
That'll be cool. They could use a third guy out there.
I am not a Matthew Rywalt fan, and I'm not a Tam Habba fan either.
Ray Walton Hannafin, huh? Gotcha.
More like Matt Stryker and Nigel McGuinness, please. Yes, please. But I won't get my way. Marcus, any final thoughts on this week's show before we call tonight?
No, that's about it. We pretty much goes out everything. That's all the big news. Nothing passing. Yep, that's about it.
All right. So then, with that being said, we're going to call tonight. We'll be back next Monday for another edition of the Wrestling Underground podcast. I am your host, or have been your host, Chad Porter. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. Remember, as always, to watch more wrestling. If you want to follow us on our socials, you can. That's NerdCorp, NERDCORP, over on the website at Real Nerdcorp, REAL, NERDCORP. Marcus, you can be found on Twitter at ParadoxKid, PARADOXKID.
That's the kid.
You can also find him on his other podcast, The True Penny Show, at the Twitter account True Penny Show, TRUEPENNYSHOW. All of their links get posted to Twitter, so you don't need to go and fishing around for whatnot. They talk about GLEAT a lot, so I enjoy that. You can also find me on Twitter at Chad Nerdcorp, CHADNERDCORP. That's Chad Nerdcorp. You can find me as well on the Instagram at Chad's Photo at CHADSPH. Oh, I'm tired. CHADSPHOTOHUT. I spelled that right. Chad's Photo Hut. There. We'll be back next Monday for more Wrestling Underground goodness. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. Remember, as always, watch more wrestling. And Marcus, I did the outro twice. Take us home.
Good night.